This is the Why I Hate and Love Pickleball podcast. I'm Bill Wong. Today I'm doing a remote podcast in a suburb of Chicago. I'm visiting some relatives, and we had a situation this morning which I'd like to talk about. One of the things I do dislike about pickleball is the lack of community sometimes inherent in the sport. And the three things that happened this morning were very disconcerting. And I have a special guest today, of which I'll bring her in as soon as I talk about these issues. First of all, I'm visiting in a suburb of Chicago, and we went to these public courts. My friend had reserved the courts, as we should have, on their local app. However, even though we were able to use the public courts, we were asked to leave. The issue that I have with this, which is one of the things I dislike about pickleball, is that we had done what we were supposed to do. We had utilized the system, we'd gone to the courts, and we'd reserved a court. However, the local residents they wanted us to leave because they had 5 courts and we were using one of the reserved courts. It was a lot of conflict. And in addition, I have a guest today who's a friend of mine, and she'll be talking about her experiences. So the issues that we had today were a lack of social cohesion, poor environmental stewardship. There was no problem solving. The individual, when we talked to them about the problem, they said, "Oh, we've known about this problem before. Talking to the city is not going to do anything." And they did nothing, absolutely nothing to fix the problem. And if you think about it, I am a visitor of this city. How do you think I feel about the city and its citizens, and also how the sport of pickleball? There is an erosion of their identity in the suburb. I'm going to bring in my special guest, and we'll just talk about our experience this morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm Liv. And today we're going to be talking about pickleball, right?
Yes, that's right. About our experiences just today.
Yes. So we did go to the courts a half an hour ago. And
Was it that long? It seemed like it seemed like a forever, and I'm still upset. I had to come home, have some coffee, and have something, a stress eating. I'm upset. Are you upset?
I'm a bit upset. I was trying to hold in my laugh because personally I
So
thought it was
laughing is
kind
not
of funny.
upsetness.
I mean, I was a bit upset that everyone kept on coming over, interrupting our play.
Well, that wasn't because we were such good players and they wanted to see us?
I don't think so. So, what topic should we talk about
let's
first?
talk about what happened, and then we'll talk about how we handled it, and then the aftermath. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. So what we did was we walked over to the local courts. As I said, I'm visiting in a suburb of Chicago, and we've reserved the court as we should have.
Yes. It was open play, like drop-in through, I think, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. or 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. I kind of forgot, but there was an open court, which was number 6, and we reserved that court,
But we were just a little bit late. So we were a little late, and there were some people on there, correct?
yes.
And what happened?
So we told them that we have a reservation, and they said that it was only open play. So we had to tell them that there was an open court to reserve, and we just have to keep on telling them so they believe us. So once they believed us, they were like, "Could we finish this game?" And we thought, okay, fine, whatever.
But they said it like this. It was more to it than that. We were on the court, and we walked over there, and we asked them, we said, "We have a reservation."
Mm-hmm.
And we asked them, hey, and they wanted to finish the game. The score was 3-1?
Yes, it was 3-1. I thought it was more close up to 10 or the end of the game, but they just started the game, so we waited for 5 minutes, but then we realized it was going to be a long game. They only went up to 3 to 4.
A pickleball game is played to 11. So at
Yes.
3-1, they were just starting.
Yes.
It was not rude of us, since we had a reservation,
Mm-hmm.
to ask them to leave, and they said, well, it would have been courteous if you let us finish. But it was at 3-1. That's ridiculous. It
Yeah.
would have taken them about 20 or 30 minutes. The reservation was for an hour. We were already 10 minutes late. So we would have had 30 minutes left to play. I think that's personally ridiculous.
That is ridiculous because I feel like they should have just let us play when we got there because there was a short line, but they just waited. So the line got longer. So I feel like they just made them wait more
I agree.
themselves.
I'm not going to argue with you. So that was the issue 1, correct?
Yes.
So we got on the court. We were about 10 minutes late. That was our bad. But then multiple people came up to us and said, this is open play. You can't be here. However, we made a reservation like we should have.
Yes.
On the app has a flaw.
Yes, it does because more than 3 people interrupted us through our play and they were just taking up more of our time. So I feel like they should have just not bothered us. Once one person came up to this, I feel like they should have just stopped because they're just wasting their own time, like talking to us, and they're wasting our times.
Correct. So that happened, and which put sort of a bad taste in my mouth. And one of the issues that I don't like about pickleball is, in general, I think the pickleball community is wonderful. I think they're very accepting. And I've talked about this before in other podcasts, where you have to be open-minded, self-aware,
Correct.
and making ability to make adjustments. Now, obviously, they wanted to play. I understand that.
Yes. Everyone came there to play, and that's understandable.
Absolutely. And I really was proud of the way that we talked about it in a mature way. We told them, yes, we would show you our reservation. And people who came up to us were players. They were of no one of authority. Then one individual said they've had a problem with the city and talking to them. As I was saying at the opening, that it was ineffective problem solving, because if they know there's a problem, by not addressing it is a problem.
Yes, that's correct, because he said that he've talked to the city before, but they just never responded, or they responded and never really done anything.
And what did they call the city like? What was their analogy?
A pole.
Right. A pole of the post of the net. The post of a net
Yeah.
normally doesn't communicate well. It doesn't listen because it has no ears, it has no voice, and it has no brain. That's what he was saying.
Yeah.
The city is like the post of a pickleball court, which is sort of a knock on the city.
Yeah.
It's a knock on the individual trying to make a change. And the problem is going to happen again tomorrow or the day after that.
It is going to, because actually it's going to happen again because there was another reservation at 9:30 after we left.
Correct.
So yes, there you go. There's another problem.
Absolutely, which is a problem in and of itself. And the neglect of public spaces and reduced social cohesion is another issue I want to talk about, where this is a public space. I understand that we have to have, if it's a private court, you have the ability to control and monitor and control and utilize your private space any way you want. However, this is a public space, and we use the civic norms of reserving the public space for a certain time on a certain date, and we checked it, and that is bothersome. And so we were adhering to the social norms, yet individuals were not happy about that. Then they need to fix the system. Comments about that? What do you think?
I feel like they should fix the system, because now I feel like that was definitely not the first time that happened, because clearly that everyone was like already in the system, like they were already in the rhythm of switching and just dropping in, waiting in line. And I feel like maybe it would be a new problem that the city done, but the biggest problem is that they're not fixing it.
Absolutely. But people, and this is one of the issues I have with a lot of individuals, the system and the city and institutions are only good as the people in them, be it the citizens, be it the city representatives, or even the mayor. And by them not fixing it or adhering to social norms, I have a real issue with. And if you think about it, I am visiting from another place, another state, and this is going to leave a bad thought and taste in my mouth. And also the fact that you are a resident of this area, how does it make you feel for your city?
I kind of feel like that now I don't have like a thing, like I don't have someone, if there's a problem, if there's something that I don't like about what's happening, and clearly I want to fix what just happened today, it looks like we can't fix it because our city doesn't care, doesn't
Do you
respond.
think it's the city, or do you think it's that the individuals aren't willing to put in the effort to
They
adjust
probably
it?
they probably aren't trying to put in the effort because it doesn't look like they really care that we were there. They just wanted us off the court.
Right. They don't care about fixing the underlying problem. They just wanted to remove almost the symptom of the problem. In some ways, we're the symptom of the problem, right? The problem is the app and the reservation. We happen to be there. They want to fix the symptom, but not get to the core of the problem.
Yeah,
Yep, I
I
agree with that.
agree.
What I was asking is, as a resident of your city, I thought you were acting very mature. I was very proud of you.
Mhm.
I was proud of you that you didn't get upset. We used adult voices.
Yes, of course.
We didn't throw things or go storm off the court. We just said, well, this is a situation. We explained it to 2 or 3 people who kept asking the same
To
thing.
more than three or to 4 people, because I feel like multiple people were interrupting us. Also, that guy that gave us our ball back, he told you some stuff and we didn't hear it.
Mhm.
Do you know what he said?
I didn't hear that. I when I play, I'm very focused on playing and playing well.
Yeah.
So I have a strength and a weakness of zoning stuff out. He said something to me.
Yeah, you were talking to him. It
Oh.
was when the court next to us. He
He was saying that he was saying the same thing where there's open play and that we're on the court and we have to get off the court. It was basically the same thing.
Yeah, I kind of felt mad inside, but of course you have to act mature or else.
Why were you mad? Why?
No, I was mad.
Yeah, inside, why?
Well, because because I have to keep, like, I was about to serve to you, and I have to keep on waiting and waiting because we had to keep on explaining to multiple people.
Right. To be honest with you, and I'll talk about this in another podcast, I am an instructor at a exclusive club,
Mm.
and I've written a book. People pay me to play with them. People want me on the court because they want to get better, and they ask me to play. Do you think I am more likely to play at those courts or less likely? Even in Illinois, people want me to play. They invited me to play.
Okay, well,
So-
maybe people like you.
They want me to play. However, I am less likely to ever play at these courts again because of this bad experience. That's what I'm trying to say. I
So-
would never play there again. Never. Because of this bad experience, because of the system and the interactions I have
Yeah.
with the people. So it's hurting them. It's not hurting me.
I mean, because you don't live here, so you just won't, when
Right.
you visit, you just won't go there. You would
Right.
go to your subscription and play there
Exactly.
inside.
Right. So they
air
are hurting
conditioned.
themselves by the way they acted. If, say, I go to a sporting event.
Yeah.
And I have a bad experience at that sporting event, I am less likely to go there. And the owners of the sporting event want people to participate. They want them to buy tickets. They want them to watch. I am less likely to do this because it's a bad experience. And this is a black eye on the residents of this suburb in Chicago and a black eye on the individual. I am less likely to ever, I'll still visit, but I'm less likely to ever play again because this has left a bad experience. Like I said, I was very proud of you. You said you were mad before.
I mean,
How did you control your anger?
I kind of just laughed it out because I kept on walking up to them. Like, I didn't want to just sit there, watch you guys have to explain it multiple times. I just walked up and I tried to explain it to them too because I'm playing too. I'm not invisible. I'm playing too.
Right.
I'm also upset because these are my local courts, and I can just walk there. Like, it's not too far to my house. So we can always just walk there, but now I feel like should we even care to go there?
Mhm. How does it make you feel like you live in this area?
Mhm.
You are a resident of this area. Are you proud of your city and your fellow residents, or you're sort of sad?
Well, I wouldn't say proud or sad or angry. I just feel like they could have made the situation a bit easier, better for other people because they don't realize that we are a resident here, and I just feel like they could take this situation and be more mature instead of interrupting us multiple times. And actually, they were pretty mature in talking to us. They weren't getting mad at us. They trusted us that we had a reservation. They just something about it was wrong.
What? What was wrong?
Interrupting us multiple times. I feel like people just what do you have to say to it?
I see, and I'm trying to come from your perspective. I am an older individual, so I am more understanding. But younger individuals are more impressionable and take things in a different light.
Different way?
Right. And it's almost like to me, being a young person, you're a little bit more sensitive. So things that happen to me because I've gone through a long life, I am able to process it better. But you as a younger individual, it affects you more. The question I'm trying to find out, would you be more affected because you're younger? Because I'm leaving, but you live here.
Yeah.
You're
I mean,
younger and I'm older, so I can handle and process a bad experience better. But you as a young individual, it might stay with you. Seriously, you might write a college paper or do a dissertation about social
personally,
interaction.
I mean, I was getting upset, but I wouldn't personally take it that far because I mean, it's just pickleball. I wasn't ever thinking to be a professional pickleball player.
Right.
Either way, it's pretty cool, right? I
Mhm.
mean, it's fun to play with friends for fun.
Did you have fun today?
I did have fun, but
Even playing with me?
yes.
Even though you lost? You
I
You
lost. You sure
lost.
about that?
We had old person rules where they had to play to my side because I can't cover the whole court because I think your combined age doesn't add up to my age. So that's not fair. Right? About? We'll do the math later.
Okay, we'll do the math later. But yeah, I feel like being younger doesn't affect how you take in things. I mean, it depends on the person, but personally, age doesn't make a difference. But I feel like being a resident living here makes a difference, probably because I felt like let's see, because I don't want to go back there, but I don't know where else to go because I do know that the local rec center, they have some pickleball courts, but they aren't as good because they aren't permanent pickleball courts. They can turn into pickleball courts or tennis courts, but I feel like these are like the better ones.
Mhm.
But the people that go here, let's just say, I feel like, I don't know, like,
What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't know. Explain yourself.
I feel like that they could look at the website themselves,
Mhm.
checking first if we should be there
Okay.
before going up to us and asking and telling them we have to like bring up the reservation sheet. We have to tell them multiple times. I feel like if they want to go up to us, they have to first go onto the website, or else I feel like,
I understand. Okay.
like.
Okay. So, in summary, we had a situation this morning where we went to a local pickleball court in a suburb of Chicago, and we had a bad situation. And it was some conflict. It wasn't a proper use of public space. It was poor environmental stewardship. And I have a bad taste in my mouth for this village or city. The cultural identity of the city has degraded in my eyes, and I am less likely, if not ever, to play at these local courts, which would harm them because people pay me to play with them on the pickleball court.
So you're saying that they're getting a subtraction of people?
The quality of play will be lower because I won't participate in it because of their behavior and because of the city. And over time, that adds up. And if it continues, there might be a degradation. They will probably never notice, and they probably won't be aware. But my experiences, I would probably never play on these local courts unless I absolutely had to and I had no other alternative.
Mhm.
So they've hurting themselves by their behavior and the city not managing their application properly. That makes
They
sense? So this is the Why I Hate and Love Pickleball podcast. This is Bill Wong. Thank you.